disinformation expert Mike Rothschild and former FBI and CIA Special Agent Tracy Walder. Great to have you both here. Mike, how do these spread? And by the way, why are we seeing so many anti-Semitic conspiracy theories right now?
Well, as I wrote about in one of my books, all conspiracy theories essentially have a hint of anti-Semitism, and all anti-Semitism is based around conspiracy theories. It's very natural for an unexpected traumatic event like Charlie Kirk's murder, caught on camera in front of hundreds of people, instantly broadcast around the world, to send people spinning off into wild theories of what happened, why it happened, who did it. We had no idea for almost 2 days. That is a petri dish where conspiracism and paranoia are going to grow. And everyone is going to latch onto a different theory based on whatever your own personal beliefs are. Whatever you wanted the shooting to be, for that, it was you. And it spreads instantly on social media.
By the way, Mike, should we trust you? Aren't you a Rothschild? Aren't you behind everything?
I am a Rothschild. I'm not one of the Rothschilds. If I were, I would be living on my yacht and counting my paintings.
Okay, great, because I thought that was a room on your yacht. I was mistaken. Okay, Tracy, let me go to you. There is a difference, right, between hate speech. There's a difference between free speech. There's a difference between inciting violence. What is the role of the FBI, for example, in trying to stop these conspiracy theories? Because on one hand, people can have a right to believe and think what they want. Where does it cross the line? When does the FBI get involved?
Well, you're absolutely right. There obviously is a fine line, and the FBI cannot legally investigate someone that they just don't agree with or says something that may be incendiary. But where it starts to cross the line is where I do think it has a direct result in violence or is obviously condoning or threatening violence. That's where it crosses the line. But it becomes very, very difficult for the FBI to investigate this. And I've talked about this before because a lot of this is happening. A lot of these conspiracy theories are really being promoted on social media and channels like Discord. And the problem with that is the FBI can't just insert someone in there in an undercover fashion like they may do in sort of pedophilia rings and those kinds of things. You actually have to become friendly with these individuals and cultivate a relationship. It's very similar to what we had to do with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. They have to know you to let you in. And then that becomes really, really difficult to find out exactly what's going on and whether or not people are going to act on violence in these conspiracy theories.
You know, Tracy Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, has said that he would be in favor of getting rid of Section 230. That obviously provides a shield of protection to platforms from being sued for what people post on their platforms. Would you be in favor of that too? Could that ultimately result in platforms maybe silencing a lot of this garbage?
I think yes and no. I think a lot of these platforms are driven by money, right? That's ultimately what drives a lot of them, in my opinion. And I think obviously we cannot infringe on individuals' right to freedom of speech. But at the same time, when you have videos such as a graphic video of Charlie Kirk's death essentially being forwarded all over social media with no warnings whatsoever, we really need to hold some of these providers accountable, and maybe putting some caveats in Section 230 might be helpful.
That's a great point. I mean, great point. That was circulated. I was in a group chat. That was the first time I saw it. No one gave any warning. It was shared so easily. Mike, do you think there's a role for social media companies here? What should that role be, particularly when you're seeing it just getting more and more and more toxic so quickly?
Well, social media companies have the role in policing their own content. I think it is entirely appropriate for a social media company to see a close-up video of a man being shot in the neck and say, "We don't want this. No, we don't allow this here." Instead, it was allowed to ping pong around the world before anyone really did anything about it. We have seen that over and over and over with social media, where graphic videos, conspiracy theories, manifestos are allowed to circulate with absolutely no one doing anything about it, because a lot of these companies don't want to seem like they're censoring anybody. They shouldn't be censoring anybody, but they have rules, and they should be enforcing those rules. And I think one of those rules should be, we don't allow videos of people being murdered to be passed around.
And Tracy, what about the actors? I talked about this in the last part. Russia, China, Iran, Aren't they playing a role on social media? Aren't they playing a role in information that may be being spread? Or am I being cynical?
You are not being cynical. Our enemies are absolutely loving this. There's no question. They love this division because it takes our eye off of the national security ball, if you will. The reality is Russia would love for us to be distracted from Ukraine. Iran would love for us to be distracted from the Middle East. And Russia and Iran are sort of the two biggest players. Obviously, China plays a role in terms of hacking, but Russia and Iran are two of the largest players in terms of really trying to spread disinformation using our social media platforms. And that's another caveat that needs to be put in. They shouldn't be allowed to do this.
It is so disturbing on so many different levels. I'm happy we had a chance to talk a little bit more about it, get a sense of what's going on. Mike Rothschild, Tracy Walder, thank you so much. Mike, enjoy your yacht. I know you've been lying. I can't believe anything you've been saying, so really appreciate you both. Thank you. You got it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.